Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of UHS Presents. I'm your host Sarah, and Lori is not able to come hang out tonight, but we are covered because we have our very favorite guest host with us tonight, and that is Fish. Hi, Fish.
Hey! I am the best replacement for a Lori you're going to get. You get like 6 times as much of me for the amount that you get with Lori. Like, that's a pretty good trade-off, I'm just going to say.
Fair enough. I mean, she's got that crappy internet. I mean, you got much better internet than she does.
Oh yeah, like my wife, my loving, beautiful, kind, generous, thoughtful wife got a internet line run in here specifically for my show, so that she got tired of me like texting her during 5-Star Fridays and be like, get the kids off the internet, because they'd be streaming and playing video games and listening to music and in all 3 separate rooms. So she got me my own line that's dedicated just for Mr. Fish Comics so that I can do stuff like this. She's a peach and made my time so much easier on these shows.
That's so awesome. You know what? You and I both got some good significant others because we had DSL here, and there was a point in which Jeffrey just was like, this ain't going to work no more, and upgraded to the old cable, and it's way better.
Oh yeah, that's the same thing. We could only get DSL out here until like just recently. And when they finally, this other company brought it out this far into the woods, she was like, yes, absolutely. We are doing this. I'm getting it, period, the end. And it has been so much nicer. Oh man, I can send files like that now.
Oh god, yes. Yeah, I couldn't upload things. It would just time out, and then I could literally turn my my hotspot on my phone and it would upload faster if I use that. It's ridiculous. Right? It's ridiculous.
Oh, I've done whole podcasts from my hotspot on my phone because it was too hard getting through the internet here before. And now, it's like butter. Man, my TikTok videos upload like that. It's amazing. I love it.
Fantastic. Well, Astayon's here. Hi, Astayon. I am so glad you can make it. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so before we bring on our guest, I do have one little piece. It's always weird for me to do the UHS news review because I am never sure if I have all the news that I need to say to everybody. but I'm just going to tell you guys all to make sure you go check out Power Broker if you haven't yet. And I'm going to put up the banner for that right now. And there you go. It's uhstudios.com/kickit. And we have made goal, but we're working for that first stretch. And you've got 3 more days. So tell all your friends. And if you can't, or if you're not really interested, that's fair. I respect that. But if you like and share our posts and stuff,
give it a share. It takes nothing to click share, and it gets it in front of more eyes that wouldn't have seen it otherwise. So that is such a huge help.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Even with our personal Facebook accounts, if we're trying to share our stuff off of there, somehow it still gets nuked. It's like they're watching us. Weird, right? like Facebook?
Oh yeah, I think my account got throttled because I share so much stuff. And like I'm not just sharing my stuff, but I share y'all's stuff. I share Danny J Quick stuff, and anybody that I'm friends with, I share their posts. And I think I don't know if it thinks I'm spamming or what, but like most of my posts now, I'm lucky if I can get 100 views on it. So anybody that will share that stuff is a huge help to us. So
Yeah,
share,
yeah.
share, share.
Yeah, if you can't back, if you're not really feeling Power Burger, that's cool. That's like, but if you like and share, that still helps us a ton. So definitely.
Mhm.
J-Man's here too. He says, hi, Sarah and Fish. And hi,
What's
J-Man.
up, J-Man?
So tonight, as you might have noticed on the banner, tonight's Free Comic Book Day. And we were going to talk, I think some of you knew that we were going to talk to Danny Quick about Ace Blade. And Danny is unable to join us tonight for family stuff. So we have Danny's stand-in, I guess. I don't know. We have the next best thing. If it's not Danny, it's gonna be Morgan, and we got Morgan Iverson with us tonight. Hey, Morgan.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing?
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Good to see y'all too, man.
So
Danny's partner in crime is writing buddy, the creative powerhouse behind Lumberjacks. Man, y'all making moves out there, man. I am always impressed with what y'all are doing.
I appreciate it, bro. Look, I'm hyped that you got Green Zone out, so that's a huge deal.
Green Zone.
I cannot wait for the books to get in everybody's hands. Oh, I'm
excited
so
for Green Zone. Like I if y'all heard the way that I was nerding out about getting Emerald Quest and how excited I was, like that's how excited I am for Green Zone too. So I
feel the same way.
Superheroes are cool and all, but I love the offbeats, the off the beaten path stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm ready.
The concept of Green Zone is awesome.
Yeah, love it.
Appreciate that. Thank
you. So we were talking before the show started. We were talking about HBCU con, right? It's HBCU con, and and I said let's wait, let's hang on and talk about that live so that we can have everybody else chip in too. So because I was very interested in the conversation. So if you want to give us a recap since you were there, Morgan, that would be great, and then we can go on to talk about Ace Blade.
So Shauna, I think her last name is Shauna Lawson. Everybody knows about CC the Geek on IG and Facebook. And Wendell Smith, I believe, is his last name. I hope I didn't mess that up. But they came together to conceptualize. What up, J-Man? They came together to conceptualize this idea for doing a con that that blends geek culture and HBCU culture together, which I thought was one of the best ideas that I've heard about. You know what I mean? Because for a lot of people in the black community, there are a lot of people that have been geeks for decades that didn't want to put it out there because one, there wasn't much for them really. You know what I mean? Like out in the comic world, but also other people that I didn't grow up reading comics, so I didn't grow up reading comics. When I went to my first con, I was mind blown at the first thing that got me was the brazenness of the fans. You know what I'm saying? Like the cosplayers. Like I'm talking about my first con was at North Carolina.
You just be walking around wearing that, like out in front of everybody. That still blows my mind, and I love it. But there's still that part of me that's like, you're outside, right? Like
and NC Comic Con is in November, you know what I'm saying, in North Carolina, which is cold. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, they're out there, and I'm talking about women in Mortal Kombat suits, dudes coming as Shona from The Last Dragon, or like stuff with their shirts off, or you know what I mean. I'm like, you guys this is
it's too cold for that nonsense.
I saw some Attack on Titan, like not suits, body paint. Attack on Titan.
Yeah,
I was shocked that they were even allowed in the door, but thankfully it was the middle of like July or August, I think, because otherwise I would have been like, "Are you insane?"
Yeah, but that's what shocked me when I went to my first con. So to have CC or Shauna come to try to put this idea together, like the big thing for me is she gets a huge hats off because I can't imagine the undertaking of trying to trying to organize a con of any size, but to do it this way, and she was partnering with Bowie State. I'm not sure if she graduated from Bowie State or not, but it's a HBCU in Maryland that hosted it, and everything was I love the energy. We got there Friday to set up midday. And surprisingly, usually at a con, Saturday is your best days, but we actually had our best day on Sunday.
Oh wow, cool!
Good deal.
It was crazy, you know what I mean? We had a pretty good day on Saturday, but Sunday was it was a lot of traffic. We had video game tournaments, a lot of cosplay, panels. The actual Bowie State band was there, and they came through playing, and it was great, man. It was a great atmosphere. It was a great time. I'm definitely looking forward to next year. And me and Danny just got back late last night, so yeah. And while we were gone, he unfortunately, you know, his wife and middle daughter were sick, so now he's being the great dad and father he is, and I feel in for him.
Yeah, it sucks, but hey, I mean, he's got to do the family thing first. So
yeah,
family comes first, and he's working so hard all the time, man. You got to make time for the family.
Yeah.
I said earlier to Laurie that I wasn't sure that I've even actually talked to Danny on stream or anything, like directly talk to Danny ever. So that was weird. And I was like, I'm kind of excited that I get to talk to Danny because I'm not sure I've done
That's
that.
the thing, though. Everybody feels like they know Danny because he's like on TikTok and stuff all the time. Like, I had no idea who Danny was until like we got friended somehow on Facebook, and I just started seeing like video after video after video until eventually, like, yeah, I know Danny. Never met the dude, you know, not until like we had him on the show one time. But I was like, oh yeah, I know him because you see him all the time. But we get that way with friends on Facebook and stuff. Like, I get people in my news feed that I didn't know before, but now I know their kids and, you know, where they go to soccer and all this stuff. And now I'm like, oh, they got the goal. It's awesome. And like, I've never met these kids.
But that's one of the coolest parts about this con is because I really miss going to the cons and meeting, you know, people that we talk to and a family in my head and heart, you know what I'm saying, online, but meeting them in person. Like that, I miss that like a lot. You know what I mean? So being able to go, this is my first con because my son has special needs. So like he has respiratory issues and I was not going to take a risk. You know, going to a con and bringing something back to him before I could get him vaccinated, get me vaccinated. And just at least, because I mean, I was apprehensive about the vaccine in the beginning, but I more so did it because I was like, look, I know if something happened to him and he caught it and I did not get vaccinated, I would not forgive myself if I didn't feel like I had checked everybody.
Oh, if the thought of being the one that got your loved one sick, that was it for me.
Yeah,
I was afraid for me, and I was afraid for getting somebody that I cared about. So getting anybody else sick would suck. But
and like you, I've got people I care about that can't get it, you know, or they'll die. And then I miss the cons too. Like I miss that interaction with fans. I miss the whole Carnival Barker aspect of it. I miss drawing in front of people, you know, and getting crowds looking at what you're doing. It's just so much fun getting to meet people that you wouldn't meet otherwise from online and stuff, making new friends. Like, I just loved it. And I was anxious to get back. So yeah, I got it as quick as I could.
That was one of my favorite parts of this weekend by far. I mean, I met Malachi for the first time. Because Malachi was up there. What up, Tony? Malachi was up there and I didn't know. So he messaged us Sunday morning because he was there helping another creator out. And that was awesome. So I got to meet Malachi. I got to meet Ren McKenzie for the first time in person. And that was, I mean, we were messing with each other all weekend. Like it was great, man. So the whole thing was awesome. And how
fun is it to get to go see somebody that like you get to see once, maybe twice a year, and then you just turn into a bunch of 10-year-olds together and just screw around.
Oh yeah. And sometimes you find those people that you just click with. Like I had seen Ryan Robinson's work around before, and like we had him on the show as an interview when Moana was on with her book. But like actually hanging out with him at FSK Day, Like we had so much freaking fun hanging out that he's like my new bestie now, just because we actually got to hang out and be stupid and goof around and stuff. And
that's how it was for me, for us and Ren. Because y'all know Ren is a huge jokester. He's always talking trash about something. So we were messing with each other's table. We saw Moana. Moana was there.
Awesome.
We saw Moana on Saturday and her husband. It was awesome. I didn't see Shauna the whole weekend, but she was running, So you know what I'm saying? So I just made sure to message her privately and thank her for, having the heart and the thought press, the thought to put that together. Because like I said, I can't imagine the undertaking it takes, and to be able to pull it off and have so much love and just good exchange of information and vibes was awesome. Like it was worth it for that. If we didn't sell anything, it still would have been worth it for the time to be able to meet Malachi and Ren in person, see Moana again. Like it would have been worth it for that alone. So,
yeah. And you get your work out in front of all these new people, all these new kids and stuff. And what was the crowds like?
The crowd. So Saturday was the first day that that the vending started. I think they started at 10 or 11, but that first hour or two, it was kind of steady from about 1 to 3. The traffic was pretty good. And I think we closed down at 7. We stayed the whole time. I didn't eat all day Saturday on purpose though, because I was like, when I leave, I'm gonna destroy whatever food place I step foot into. I don't care what they have. I'm gonna get 2 of whatever they have. But the traffic was pretty good. And then Sunday, like I said, Sunday was it was surprising, like how many people came through. We had a lot of we sold wax melts, novels, graphic novels, comics, shoe. Danny's got Ace Blade shoes for those that don't know on the Kickstarter. We ran out of the promotional things that we had for people to go to the Kickstarter and the pledge. So it was great. That's a pretty good amount of traffic, because I'm pretty sure he printed at least 100 of those things. They have QR codes on it for you to be able to scan and it takes you to the Kickstarter. So it was a great weekend overall. It's not, it's a first year con, so it's not like we can't compare it to like Heroes Con or like one of those huge cons that's like national now. But for a first year con, like the traffic.
It sounds like they did a really good job. Even just having people still be there on Sundays said they did a really good job putting it together and making sure there was interesting stuff happening on Sunday to get people to come back and do it. Because a lot of times that day is slow, and a lot of the cons that I go to, like in our state, like all the big folks are gone. They've left. They're not sticking around for that Sunday because there's just not going to be as many people there. That's
why we were surprised. The Sunday was our best day. I think by $200 at least. Between Saturday and Sunday. Rob Van Blake was there too. That's another guy. Really good guy. Ex-military. He's huge. Like I'm trying to get him to cosplay Lumberjacks. He's huge. But yeah, seeing him again, because we hadn't seen him since Baltimore. We went to Baltimore Comic-Con in 2018. That's when we met him. So yeah, everything went great, man. I cannot thank Shauna enough, Shauna and Wendell, for putting that together, and I cannot wait for that year. We'll definitely be there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it sounded amazing. Tony asked, was the anime scene strong out there?
There were definitely. I posted some of the pictures. I didn't get pictures of everybody because you're in between pitching and trying to enjoy the scenes. Because there was also a guy that was right to our right that had that he was doing video games. Like he had a Switch set up, playing Smash Brothers, looked like Naruto and some other games. So there definitely people came as Naruto characters and. Yeah, it was great. There were some girls that were beside us that were cosplaying. There was a cosplay booth. Charlie Rocket, one of the well-known black cosplayer was there. It was a lot of people in costume. Some of them far more racy and blessing to my eyes than others. I say that.
It amazes me what folks won't wear in cosplay.
man.
for the good and the bad. Like the last big like Arkansas con that we went to, like the biggest one in our state last year, we went and like we're sitting there trying to eat lunch, and I don't know how to say it politely.
Don't say
I
it.
saw 6 different women's islands of mystery shrouded in shrubbery, let's say. I should not be able to see that while I'm trying to eat lunch. Like, you know, like I'm just saying, it shouldn't be that obvious.
Listen, I saw quite a few things that reminded me that God is good. I'll just say that, and all of His handiwork is great. I saw quite a few reminders of that this weekend.
Yeah, I admire the confidence of the women that are able to wear those, because I am not confident enough to wear that stuff. Like, I don't care. Oh man, you just have to be very secure in your body with your body to do that.
Which I admire people that are that comfortable in it. I could never be that comfortable, period. I mean, but I admire the people that are that brave, that would do like the body stuff.
But yeah, no, there are some things that will always be covered as far as I'm concerned. Like like I said, I've gotten better and I've gotten more confident, but like,
and I just can't get past the thought of like, what was going through your thought when you decided like not to wear underwear with your cosplay? Like, I don't understand that.
Attention.
But, and I think sometimes it's the, like, oh, well, maybe I'm going to meet some sexy dude. And but like, you're not thinking the old man over there trying to eat his pulled pork sandwich is going to see this too. Like, I don't think you were planning on that.
She could have been to bless your day, man. You never know. I mean, I don't know. I think the same things. I think the same things for some of the costumes that I seen. But at the same time, like, I love, like y'all said, like the confidence that I've seen. Sometimes I wish, the confidence was redirected based on the presentation. But I
was just thinking that too.
But
there's that I've seen somebody, I was like, okay, I admire your confidence so much, but like the execution just isn't there. And I'm like, I was like, I have so many ideas on how you could do this so much better, but like confidence to wear it in the first place, I think that might be the top of the list, no matter what. So they've got that taken care of.
I just avert my eyes swiftly when it happens. That way I don't have to think about it too hard.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm like the whole con thing. I don't get to do a lot of cosplay because it's so dumb. The cosplays that I have are big, ridiculous cosplays that take up a lot of space, and I can't sit behind a table in those. Like, I have a rose quartz cosplay. I can't sit behind my table in a rose quartz cosplay. Like, it's seriously, it's a legit a 5 foot wide dress. I can't do that. So, like,
there's so many things I want to do, and like so much of the time when I've gone to cons, it's better now. But so much of the time I was in my wheelchair. So I was trying to figure out cosplays I could do around my wheelchair, like be a Dalek, or like I even thought about doing Mojo because I'm fat and making like mechanical legs and stuff on my chair. But that's a big, gigantic thing that you can't just like go park behind a table or go through Artist Alley. Like you would have to like dress up in this mess and then like go to the costume contest and then go out. Yeah, and you can't just live in that all day long and go to the bathroom and go get lunch. And
I've had plenty of people try to convince me to come as lumberjacks, and I'm like, dude, have you guys read? I am not lumberjacks. I'm 5'10" at best. He's 6'8". You know what I'm saying? I got nothing for lumberjacks.
You should manage it, but that's a whole different problem. I feel like if you were at a convention trying to sell your stuff dressed as lumberjacks, you are going to boil to death. That's the problem. Like, you are not wrong. there's no active adequate ventilation in those costumes.
You
gotta
can't
put
worry about
that
like
stuff
the
in the
exact
movie.
size because like I see people, cosplaying as Cobra Commander and he wasn't but that tall. So like you could do it. Like it doesn't have to be one to one exactly.
You're right. I don't know, man. Most of the time it's like a pimp out thing, like Moana. We all know Moana tries to pimp me out all the time. So she tried to do it Saturday too. So, but yes, and duly noted, Tony. I won't forget that. I hope not, Tony.
When you try to make that table feedback, that's when you need to pull out that lumberjack costume, get them throwing them dollars at you, make you.
I cannot. I don't know why everybody does. Danny. Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Well, I know this Saturday is Free Comic Book Day, like the official world or nationwide. What all countries do Free Comic Book Day. I'm not even sure. Is it just
I know some other countries do because I've seen conversations about what they do in other places. So I know some other places do for sure.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. I know Lori is going to be at a local comic book place doing that. Last minute thing, I was like, oh shit, yeah, there's a comic book store here. I should go see if they have anything, if I can set up a table or something. Lori's gonna cosplay, and I believe she's gonna cosplay as Blitz. So everybody look out for some photos because I'm sure.
I want to see that.
That's gonna be
good. She
good.
hasn't done Blitz in a long time. Actually, to be fair, she hasn't done anything in a long time. None of us have because of the pandemic and all.
Yeah.
But,
I had that graphic novel just right here, and I moved it across the room when I was moving. I was so excited when I got that because apparently I ordered it on BackerKit for the surgeon or something or elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then completely forgot about it. It's one of the nice things about brain damage. I completely forgot I ordered it. So, like, when it came, I was so excited. I got a package from UHS, and I have no idea what's in it. So I opened it, and then it's my favorite books in the whole world. And I was so excited that I got it. And then I had to message her and ask her why.
It's like the times that you get the people make jokes about they get drunk and then they order shit on Amazon and then 3 days later they're like, where the hell did all this shit come from? Only you weren't drunk.
Yeah,
not a bad problem to have.
Like I will lose entire conversations, days, weeks. Sometimes it just doesn't stick since the heat stroke so well. So like I have to write everything down or I will absolutely forget everything. And I still have people hit me up about like, well, you agreed to do my book, right? And I'm like, oh, and I'm looking through the messages and I was like, oh crap, I did. How do I fit that in now? But sometimes it does fun stuff. Like you get books that you absolutely forgot that you did.
It was like a birthday present from your
I was so happy. I have not been that giddy in a long time because I freaking love Super. I've got the digital copies, but I hadn't bought the actual like physical copies, and it absolutely doesn't surprise me that I ordered them when I had the opportunity to, because I'm a fan, and I'm a super fan. That is like one of my favorite series because it's so funny and clever, and like does so many things right, and the action's fun to watch, but it's also like silly and funny. And usually they either do one or the other really well, but they can't do both. And this does both so well. And the art is just gorgeous.
Yeah, the art. Zach packed so many references, pop culture references in there, like obvious ones that we all know, and then like some obscure shit that I like. Sometimes I swear he was the only one who got the joke because they were so obscure. And he was like, I remember a conversation about that he and I had where we were like, he was like tutoring me through all the pop culture references, and I never did get all of them from him.
I am forever like sticking stuff in from my favorite like obscure web comics and stuff. And sometimes I'll like, message the creators and be like, hey, if you buy 5-star issue 1 and you look at the t-shirts in the background, you will notice like, this guy's wearing a t-shirt from your books, like Super Police, like it goes way deep. It's not obvious, but I love it. I love to shout out the stuff that I love.
It's fun to do too. Like Katie and my Elsewhere story from last year. we stuck a little surgeon reference in there, and I don't know who caught it, but we did it. And I didn't have any words in my comic that was in elsewhere this year, but like I would have tried to stick one in if I thought I could, but I didn't think I could. So
I love stuff like that because I think like I think breadcrumbs are the spice of life, man. You're storytelling. So I mean, when you're able to say, "Hey, Tony,
Tony mad at me for we're not gonna steal your co-host, Tony. I promise. I'm not gonna steal him.
I don't know." Tony seems like he's upset. I don't know that when it comes to well, one, I'm like Fish, and I don't. So my memory is really great in some spaces, but as far as like schedule things, I've gotten so good about putting stuff on my calendar because if I don't put it on my calendar on my phone,
It's not happening.
That happened.
Like I literally just talked to Sarah about being on this like yesterday or something, or
Yeah, it was just a couple of days ago. Lori had that shake-up thing and she wasn't sure she was gonna make it, so she's like, "Can we ask Fish just in case?"
And then this morning, like I knew about it ish last night when I went to bed. This morning, absolutely forgot. Did not exist. Never had the conversation. And then I was looking through my phone, just to check and see what I had on the schedule. And I saw this. I was like, "What the hell?" And then all of a sudden I remembered. But oh yeah, it absolutely forgot it.
It's a low pressure situation for this thing, huh? It's not like we asked you to draw a book and you said yes.
I did the same thing last week. I was supposed to be. We had somebody coming by the shop to interview me and Danny about the shop and like the comics and stuff like that we had met at when we were vendors in Greensboro 2 weeks ago, and I was supposed to come when I got off work, and I didn't put it on my calendar. So when I was I had to go get my son's medicine when I got off work. I was on the way to Raleigh, and then Danny was like, "Hey, you almost here?" And I was like, "Was I supposed to be somewhere?" And then he was like, "Oh yeah, the guy." He was like, "The guy's about to come in or whatever." I said, "A guy." Oh my God. Yeah, no, I'm in Raleigh. Like for reference, from Durham to Burlington is about 30 to 40 minutes. From Raleigh to Burlington is 45 to an hour, depending on how deep into Raleigh you're going. So little. I don't need to say that I definitely didn't make it. He was literally at the door. But it's another cautionary tale for me. If it happens, put it on your calendar, or it's not real. So
you should have had somebody try and send you a reminder text in the morning so that you had time to not forget it. One more chance, I
should have just put it on my calendar, or set an alarm. Sometimes I do that too. I set an alarm.
Oh God, I'm a big fan of setting an alarm for stuff.
All of my notifications, like all my things on my calendar, have notifications like 3 days before, 2 days before, the day before, 4 hours before, 3 hours before, 2 hours before, and just so hopefully I catch some of them and remember that I'm going to do it. But it's been comforting, like doing 5-Star Fridays, realizing that I'm not the only one that does this, because like I will talk to somebody like 2 weeks before that they're going to be on, like, "Hey, you're going to be on the show, right?" "Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it." And so then the next week I'm like, "Hey, you're on next week, right?" "Oh yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm going to do this and this, and we're going to talk about that." It's great. And maybe I'll talk to them a few days before, and then we get to the day and I'm like, "All right, man, here's the link. We're going to be on, in a couple of hours." Like, "What? Oh man, dude, I forgot. I like left town and went on a vacation with my wife, man." Like, oh, like, dude.
Look, there have been times where I've had fam like Sarah, Lori, Fish, Tony, you know what I'm saying? One of y'all coming on Top 5 Live, and I literally which is more important because you need to know what the topic is for the first part. I mean, the way we set the show up, I'm going to make sure that y'all talk in the beginning, and then I just continue to reference it. But like, there have been times where I was supposed to have somebody on and I'm getting ready to open the show up or whatever. And then they'll be like, "It's 8:00, right?" And I'll be like, "Huh?" "Yeah, yep, absolutely."
I was getting to the point when we started to go have our shows more and more often before we ended up with this weekly situation, and we have a Google Doc. Like we have a spreadsheet with everything scheduled. At the moment that we agree to have a guest, and the moment the guest confirms, like it's on the schedule, and Lori and I have access to it so that we can mess around. We can both add stuff, and that we don't have a problem where we double book, which actually did happen just recently, and it sucked, and so like we need to make sure we even though we both have access to the document, we still need to like communicate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like me and Tony, we ended up creating our own calendar that we can share between all of us on the show, so that like we could put stuff in that calendar and time it out. But if you forget to put it in the calendar, it doesn't do any good, and nobody does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the thing, man. It's
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we have that, and like I said, like it's so far it's only happened the one time that we messed up and double booked somebody, but I was forgetting people before I decided that we needed some kind of record here for our stuff. Otherwise, yeah, that was going to happen again. It's absolutely going to happen again. So,
yep.
And I'd like to blame it on getting old, but I'm pretty sure I've always been like this. So,
like I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm not good at. So I try and avoid the things that I'm not good at, and go around the other stuff. Like, I'm a great storyteller. I'm a good artist. I'm very creative. I'm funny. I think on my feet, all this stuff. But like, I'm not good at organization. I'm not good at keeping up with like organized lists of things. I'm not good at remembering stuff anymore since my heat stroke. Like, and so I try and find ways to work around it or find people to help me. Like, I'm seriously now looking and thinking about hiring like an assistant. And my mind just opened up when I realized recently that it doesn't actually have to be somebody to be in my home. Like, we could do it digitally. They could be anywhere in the world and, help me with the stuff I need help with. And like just getting through my emails and making sure that I return messages and I don't forget jobs that are on the schedule and, things like that, like going through some of my files and deleting repeats of stuff that don't need to be taking up space, stuff like that. That would be a huge benefit to me because my email is so long and I'm never going to get through it. Never.
I hear that. It's funny that I was thinking about, because I was like thinking like, oh, that's what we all need is an assistant, somebody to be our brains for us, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought I've done the assistant type jobs in the past, and I was like, I was so good at being somebody else's assistant, but I can't be my own assistant to save my damn life. Why?
Yeah, that's frustrating.
All right. Okay, so we're past the halfway point, and we need to give everybody their free shit. So today we are going to be we're going to give away UHS's Unthinkables issue number 1. Right? Okay. And we're going to give away Ace Blade too. So if you want to, if you're ready with your code, with the QR code, there it is. Everybody snapping the code, and I just changed the ticker, so now it's if you go uhstudios.com free shit, that's where you can go if the code doesn't work for you. But we got a couple of excellent different comics up here for you. And speaking of Unthinkables, we were talking about the cosplay and Free Comic Book Day coming up on Saturday. Tony, by the way, said he's going to be at his local shop too. So everybody who's a creator that might be watching, let us know if you're gonna be doing something for Free Comic Book Day. I was gonna go today, but things just did not work out the way I had hoped. So I'm gonna go tomorrow as soon as they open up and ask my local comic book shop what they're doing. And back to the cosplay too. I have a cosplay for one of the characters from Unthinkables that I might put on, because that's actually one that doesn't take up 5 feet in circumference. So I can actually move around and sit at a table and stuff with that.
That's my problem, is like I can't find anybody to cosplay. There are very few fat guys with beards that you can cosplay as. And I do not want to shave off all of this beard just to be Kingpin.
Don't you dare.
So like I'm trying to find fat guys with beards. The only thing I can really find so far is like Toby from This Is Us, and I don't want to cosplay as him. So I've made it a point. I'm going to start putting more complex looking people in books as characters, and so they're people for people to cosplay. Like there's going to be fat bearded guys that you can cosplay as. And then it hit me like I stumbled across a TikTok of this lady that loves to cosplay and she wears a hijab. And she's like, there's very few things that she can cosplay that are
Hijabi
hijab.
Hooligan.
Yeah.
I love
And I was like, you're absolutely right. So now like I've got this whole storyline in my head now for this character that I want to introduce just because she mentioned that. And I was like, you're absolutely right. That would be awesome.
My mom was like that too.
I thought of two. Well, one for sure, but two bearded fat guys that you could totally like. Uncle Iroh.
Yeah. Now,
totally do
the
that.
only thing I worry about that is like Morgan was saying, I'm such a big guy. I'm so tall that like I feel like it doesn't feel like Uncle Iroh when he's like this little dude. But I could do that. Oh, I pulled the beard out to points one time, and straight up, it was a good match.
And then isn't there a guy and he's very tall as well, but that League of Legends show, what the hell is it called on Netflix? Frick, what is it called?
Oh, I know you're talking about. I can't think of his name though. The guy that was playing like the father for Jinx and
yeah. What the hell's the name of that show? I'm gonna Google it now because I'm getting mad. So we Danny is gonna kill you and Lori's gonna kill me if we don't talk about Ace Blade. We need to talk about Ace Blade.
I was thinking about it earlier because you had said something about Lori. You had said something about Lori earlier, and Lori messaged me maybe a month ago, maybe a little bit longer, because you start promoing early, and Daddy had it come out with one of his early posters for the for Ace Blade number 6, and for those that don't know, Ace Blade number 6 is Ace Blade Cream. So Danny in this first poster, it was just the stance that Ace Blade happened to be in.
I think I remember what you're talking about now.
Man, Lori messaged me, man. I was dying laughing. You know how somebody else is laughing so hard, so it makes you laugh hard. She made me laugh so hard at that crap and it was only funny because like I know that he did not mean.
Oh yeah, that's what makes it so funny.
He had no inkling whatsoever of that. You know what I'm saying? And then the picture made it worse because it literally like it was an extension of himself.
Oh yeah, like
it was so funny, bro. And me and her were dying laughing. You know what I mean? So for those that don't know, Cream is not the other side that some people were talking about. There's a song, Cass Rules Everything Around Me, Wu-Tang Clan, and that's where he gets the idea for his next art for Ace Blade. So for those who haven't caught up with Ace Blade, I mean, a good way to enter into mindset for him is if you imagine yourself feeling like you're one of the best fighters in the world, and then finding out that somebody's actually been fixing your fights, and then while you're trying to recover from that, now you're out here trying to make a better, because of that corruption in your life, you're trying to make a better life for others around you that have dealt with this type of corruption, but you're fighting supervillains with no powers. And that's a lot of Ace Blade's in his first 4. That's a lot of what he's dealing with in this story arc. And Ace Blade number 5 is about Gutshot is a chief villain. One of Lumberjacks is chief villains too. And Gutshot sets up this scenario. I don't want to spoil anything. He sets up this scenario that gets very drastic. Ace Blade number 5 is called Villain Season, and it's because you're going to meet a lot of Ace Blade's villains and he has to fight back against them. It's still continuity, but it's more so of a one shot than it is the first 4. And Ace Blade number 6 is picking up with a new story arc where the cash rules everything around me is something that Ace Blade is getting ready to experience in 6 through 10, where it doesn't matter what system of life it is, he sees corruption. He has to deal with the corruption of that system. And in this situation, a former student of his is going to go through something that ends up getting him into legal trouble. And then he sees the corruption that's there too, with him still dealing with the other stuff that he's carrying, without me spoiling anything. But yeah, it's Ace Blade is, we always say Ace Blade is like our Batman, you know what I'm saying, to a degree. Danny swears up and down that he can beat Bruce Wayne in the fight. So there's that. I'm not saying it. I want to make it clear that
Well, no, that's a question. Like, are you beating Bruce Wayne or are you beating Batman? Because
So
those are two different things.
Exactly. The clear delineation is that Terrell Durham, who is Ace Blade, Terrell Durham can beat Bruce Wayne in the fight. If Batman has his utility belt and everything like that, nah, he doesn't want to smoke with him. But those two, hand to hand, Terrell wins. And
I was going to say, like, is it hand to hand or is it Ace Blade with swords and Bruce Wayne with
hand to hand
with cufflink? And
I mean, Ace Blade is a former MMA champion. We all know Bruce Wayne's resume, so. I
find it kind of hard to believe. I mean, because like MMA champion is one thing, like the amount of extremes Bruce Wayne has gone to is a whole nother. But I'll let Danny claim whatever he wants.
Hey, listen, I'm just
he can claim it. He just got to back it up.
What he said, you know what I mean? I'm just putting it out there what he told me, and he tells others. That's all.
It's just the nonsense that Danny be spouting.
See, he spent the whole weekend telling people that Lumberjacks has anger issues and he's beating children and all this other stuff. So I'm not even gonna rag on anything. I'm literally just stating a fact according to Danny J. Quick. That's it. That's all I'm doing. And then when you read the comments, you can make up your own mind, because now we have 5. We have 5 Ace Blade comments out now. This is number 6. We're close to the goal. I think we're 850, 900 away.
I'm ready to share the stream here, share the screen and have a look at it here.
So
you're
we're close to goal.
Good deal.
The artwork is there. Actually, Danny did that artwork, and then Michael Watson did. He was on with Chat and Draw with Michael Watson. Michael Watson put the inks and colors on it. So that's why Danny made sure to put that. He's been afraid of sharing his artwork online for a while because one, I'm very honest. So if I feel like it's trash, I'm going to say that because I feel like I can't be being a good friend if I don't tell you the truth. So.
Well, yeah, I agree with you on that. Like sometimes you got to be brutally honest with each other, and I would rather not waste my time than keep putting out bad books. Like if I was putting out crap, I hope one of my friends would be like, you know what, maybe you should try something else, instead of being like, oh yeah, man, good for you, keep doing it. Yeah. Throw out more money, do another one.
I don't like the yes man thing. So it's this series that the arc that he has for Ace Blade here should definitely be a good one, because again, we get to walk through. I think all of us have seen some element of life touched by the greed and corruption that money brings with it, and Ace Blade hates it because of what it's brought to him in his life, and that's like his ultimate driving force is to be able to stamp out the greed and all of the terrible things that come from it in Las Vegas and anywhere else he can.
Man, there ain't nothing I want bad enough to fight with somebody, some greedy person over it. Like, there just ain't. Like, I have seen so many like family go nuts when somebody dies and they get greedy, trying to go for the house and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I would rather walk away than fight with anybody else. I don't care. I agree. Need it that bad.
I agree. It's not, but we also know that the world does not work like that. Like, the world is not like me and you. So I mean, there's opportunity to screw somebody over, but you get ahead more often.
They will take it.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And because of what Terrell has lost, because of what Ace Blade has lost, that he covers in the novel and that he's uncovering in the comics, he hates it. He despises it, and that's why he puts his body on the line. That's why he puts himself on the line, because he knows there are a lot of situations in the world where somebody doesn't even want to make that choice, but because of somebody else's greed, they're put in a situation where they now have to make it. They're in the rock and a hard place. Those are the Ace Blade. He's calling them as Ace Blade #1 creams. He had actually made a TikTok maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago saying that he wanted to be like the first comic writer or producer that had his own brand of shoes. And like 2 weeks later, he found a way to be able to do it. So, and people liked him at the show. So hopefully we sell more.
And they look pretty sharp. So,
yeah. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Like when he put the original page up for some of us to check out, you know, I was worried because I thought they were like, you know, custom painted one-off things, you know, and I was like, oh, dude, do you need to put a limit on that or something that you've only got one pair? He's like, oh no, we can get more. I was like, man, that's smart. I would have gone about that completely the wrong way and made it something that we couldn't easily make more of. But that's smart. I like it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's outstanding.
Danny's always out there making smart decisions and making smart moves. Like the video he just shared about taking his cousin a pair of these that supported the book.
Yeah.
And like even the box is branded with the Fourth Wall logo and stuff. Like it's those kind of things that Danny does that really impresses me. You know, he is not missing the details. He is not missing any opportunity to figure out how to like make his own stickers, make his own t-shirts, but then he will also team up with like other creators on TikTok and stuff that make stickers and shout them out, and you know, and then they're both getting press off of it, or hey, this is the dude that makes my t-shirts, and you know, they're both getting more press off of it. Like I'm watching what Danny's doing. I'm watching what y'all got going over there because
he's definitely especially with TikTok and how he's been able to grow the brand there. And the good thing about that video is his cousin actually is who we stayed with when we were at the con this weekend, and you know, that was a genuine reaction because Danny hadn't let him see him yet. So and the dope thing was his cousin backed the Lumberjacks Kickstarter, Lumberjacks #2. He backed #3 too, but he had backed up Lumberjacks #2, and he had on the Lumberjack shirt. That's the shirt that he put on. It wasn't even planned. So you know, we just hope, you know what I mean? Like we hope, I mean, you know, the hard part about Kickstarters is that when you already have such great fans that are supporting everything that you're doing, every time that you do a Kickstarter, you kind of have to reinvent the wheel because when you already have fans that back everything you do, they already have your work, you know, up until this point. So so it doesn't make sense for them to back at a high level again if they already have.
They've already got all the stuff you have to offer.
Yeah.
So you got to come up with new stuff to offer.
You have to be able to innovate things to, one, show them how much you appreciate them and them backing you, and two, also to just you know, keep things new
and make it fresh. Worth those big backs, because you know, knowing that you have people that are willing to spend $100, $150, $200 on you for something, that's an amazing fan to have. So you need to make sure that you're giving them something worth the while, not here's the same comic book again and a sticker like that. That ain't worth it.
That's why I try to swing for the fences for those high tiers and give you something that, like, once we are in the position that we want to be in with, you know, creating on the screen somewhere, you know, being able to run the circuit for comics, you know, and it be sponsored, you know, the things that we all have goals to do. I want to be able to make the people that backed us and really believed in us and put their money where their mouth is with that. J-Man is definitely a super fan. The people that put their money where their mouth is for that and have been supporting us from the beginning. Number one, I'll never forget them. So when we do special things, once we hit red carpets, once those type of things happen, that will not be forgotten. But two, I want to make sure that the things that they have from us are so exclusive that, like, if it gets to a point where they're willing to part with it to resell it, it'll be worth an insane amount of money based on the fact that it's vintage and it's something that only you have. And again, if you can find new merchandise, if you can find new ways to innovate and present things to people, you just want to make sure that, because your challenge every Kickstarter is finding new people, and past that, being able to give your people that have been riding with you for a while something that is worth their while, to both show your appreciation for them, but also something that entices them to want to get more than just the next book. So hopefully, we can close this out in the next few days and start working towards stretch goals.
Oh yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. The fan base has really impressed me, and like that dude. What is his name on TikTok? Skinny white dude that does all the like rundowns of superheroes and stuff, and he came out there to the shop and visited with Danny.
Oh yeah, I can't remember his name, but Danny showed me his video this weekend. He put it on his link tree.
It's custom something. Oh yeah, like he's been putting Ace Blade in the background of every video that he's got, and shouting it out in like every third or fourth video, and put it in the link tree and stuff. And like those are good friends. Like Danny has been lucky to be able to surround himself with good people that support him and will shout him out and will share his stuff. And like there's not a campaign that y'all do that I'm not going to share out and holler out as much as I can to get any eyes I can.
Likewise here, man.
But that's the kind of stuff, like when you're good people and you treat each other right and you're helping lift up other people, that's the kind of people that other folks want to come around and help you out,
Yeah.
It's community.
We were talking about that this weekend. I think, me and Danny literally don't even look. So, I don't, I won't lie. With UHS, I live to make Michael Watson mad, because that reaction video is one of the best things that I've ever seen in my life. It is
right. Awesome. Oh my gosh, I was so sad I missed that. Oh,
I want to frame it. I want to put it in. I wish that I could get it as an NFT and put it in my house. It's that good. But that's the thing that like when it comes to our community and the people that we're close with, that support us and we support them, that you can rely on, I literally don't even look. Like when you launch something, I'm gonna back it. I don't, it'll just go on my credit card. I'll pay it back at some point. But you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm gonna back it. Like, there's not. I literally don't even look at the video. I don't look at the video. I don't look at anything. Number one, I'm just trying to beat Mike. So as long as this used to be about me beating Ramel, but Ramel, I've smacked Ramel around enough now that I don't even think he wants smoke anymore. Mike, I think Mike still wants smoke, so I gotta keep smacking him in his head. You know what I'm saying?
I need for Mike to always record his live reaction so that we know, just in case.
Yeah.
He was annoyed last time when we launched Power Broker too, because he somehow it was wild because he was right there ready to go, and he ended up being like number 5 or something crazy. Like it was super low for what we were expecting. We thought
I got on Power Broker, but I can't remember if I was at work or something. Mm-hmm. I was somewhere that would, because usually I get it to my email. So like when because you backed up the project, so when it comes to my email, I just go ahead and hit it quick. It's almost never on Facebook.
See, and that's the thing that makes me mad about Morgan, because you waiting to your email and then you go get it. I'm sitting there on the page, refreshing the page so much that Kickstarter thinks I'm a bot, and then you freaking beat me. Like that makes me mad, because I'm sitting there obsessing over, like I'm watching the live streams, sometimes watching them on 2 different devices so that I can count for delay to see when they actually launch it. And then I'm in there like click, trying to get it. Morgan Iverson got the first place. Oh.
It gives me so much joy. You guys don't even know. It's awesome.
Like you or Andrew beat me every freaking time, it seems like. And then like the one time, like on Emerald Quest, like I got first place, but I'm at FSK, so I don't get to win that. So who's it go to? I think it went to you,
Yep.
didn't it? Yeah, because
Yep.
oh, I got it. I got it.
Yeah.
And I lost.
And I still get it. Yep, it was great. Coming into play soon. Yes. Yes. Lumberjacks's necklace power. I mean, you've seen them in the first two. That's only going to continue. And you definitely will be getting in the next arc of Lumberjacks, especially. We'll definitely be getting deeper into the lore that comes with the necklace, and more of Jackson's background that's in the novel, but we're slow playing it through the comics too. So yeah, you'll definitely see that.
It's tough when you've only got like 20 something pages to tell a story in.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard. Like there is so much I want to tell you about Green Zone, but I've only got so many pages. And like the first issue had grown to be, like 40 something pages. And then Mike was like, you know what? This would really be better as 2. So we cut it in half and it made a really good, like cliffhanger for the first issue.
Yep.
And now I get to add a few pages in to make it a little bit richer for the second one. And it was a better idea. I admit it was a better idea. I wish I'd seen it myself. But like, I've been kicking myself for a year since I finished that first issue. Like, oh, well, I should have done this or I should have done that. But like, there's only so much room.
That'll never change, man.
Yeah.
I see that too. Cause like with the Lumberjacks, so there is a big kick up in Lumberjacks number 3 towards the necklace and the background concerning it, as well as Jats and him being in Ethiopia, like where he's from. So the deeper that we get in, I'm going to continue the story that we started with Animus and number 1. So I'm pulling different threads, you know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure that stuff is on the background to continue to pull that thread, but also tell the story of Animus and that situation because I want to cause conversations. Like one of my big goals for Lumberjacks number 1 was for people to ask themselves whether it was villainous or somebody just snapped. And when people snap, sometimes, like there have been news stories that have happened that once the full report comes out, I'm like, I mean, it's bad, but they kind of, like I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I've been.
Yeah, it's like that's bad, but I kind of get how they got there, and I might have done the same thing.
And if I was in her position, what would I do? You know what I mean? Like if you lost what, you know what I mean? So if you put somebody else, and that's one of the things that I think is really important is putting yourself in somebody else's shoes instead of judging them when they're going through things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also one of the themes that I wanted to get across. So and in next 2 comments, you'll see why, you know what I mean, with concerning Animus and Lumberjacks. And it's the same thing with Ace Blade, like I said, with number 6 and the new arc that he's on, as Ace Blade continues in his journey because Ace Blade also has this extreme, like one of the differences in between Ace Blade and Lumberjacks is the way that they go about, one, what triggers them, but also how they go about trying to fix that part of the world and what triggers them. And Ace Blade has an extreme loyalty to self-control, you know what I'm saying? And trying to, because in his mind, if he goes to the extent that the people that he's stopping go to, then he's no different from them.
Mm-hmm.
And Lumberjacks just doesn't see it that way. But a lot of why Lumberjacks doesn't see it that way is because of what he's gone through in his past. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's another dichotomy in society, period, is that you have to understand where somebody else is coming from first before you can really go too far judging them. And Ace Blade and Lumberjacks are always bumping heads because of that. You know what I mean? Because they just view that situation differently. So with Ace Blade and the things that he's facing in this next arc, it's still going to be a moral compass searching thing for him because it's not like he can't handle things differently. And at times he wants to. and we might see him do that in his next arc because they're when every time you turn around, you're facing another door slam to your face or some other type of injustice that you thought you fixed.
That's really interesting, though, because I mean, like to have the two characters that have taken very different approaches to like a situation. Because there's those people, we all know those people that are like, when there's bad stuff going on all around you, some people are like, I'm not going to take part in that because I'm not going to be like everybody else that's doing that.
Mhm.
And then there's those people that are like, well, screw it. If everybody else is doing it, then, let's get dirty.
Yeah.
And to see those two different approaches, and you can understand how you get to both of those, and you can understand how being one, sometimes you're like, oh, I just want to do what you're doing and give it back to you.
Yeah.
But Oh, I feel that because I'm definitely like the first one, like whether it's like putting the shopping carts away or whatever, like, I'm not going to be like the rest of y'all maniacs. I'm going to put it where it belongs. Like
I do that too.
Not even if I'm the only person that does it.
I do that too. And I mean, but that's a part of being human, and it's okay to be human, and it's okay to make mistakes. But a lot of times, especially in society that we're in right now, mistakes are not allowed in a lot of spaces. You know what I mean? I don't care if it's politically, romantically.
And especially it makes so much sense for a fighter, because for somebody that knows how to be so violent so precisely, like, you don't get to be frivolous with that. You don't get to just get mad and go wailing on somebody, because that's a whole different thing than your buddy from high school getting drunk and getting in a fight. Like, it's a whole different matter. Like, if you lose control, that's a big deal.
And to me, the other part of that, the other part of that is, so me and Javon have talked about this on the show, concerning Batman, especially like Batman and Superman, because another line for me is always like, where is the breaking point? Because if you, because it really comes down to who's deputized to deal with it in a different manner. You know what I mean? Because if you, like, I think all of us have the same thought process that if somebody breaks into your house, well, you know what I'm saying? Or at least me, I know if somebody breaks in my house, you get what you get. I'm not going to feel bad about it at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever happens to you.
I am gracious. I am merciful. I am kind. But if we're talking, you're a threat to my family.
Exactly.
I will introduce you to Jesus, and we can talk about it later when I get there.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And that's the dichotomy between Jats and Aceblade. Because for Jats, it's like, well, they've had their chance. How many more chances are we gonna give them? Because every chance that we give them, they're taking somebody else that's innocent away. You know what I mean? So that's always been the interesting part to me. Like, and that's why I love complicated characters. Like, I think I said that before. Like, Dexter drew me in because what he was doing is wrong, and we shouldn't be rooting for it. But at the same time,
he's found a way to do it in a productive way. Like,
it's like it's wrong, but is it though? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because he's it's not like he's guessing if they're serial killers or killing people. He literally verifies that they're killing somebody, and he's stopping them from doing so. So is it bad? You know what I'm saying? And I loved the whole time I was watching where they get close to catching them, and then I'd be like, yeah, get him. No, don't get him. Don't get him. Don't get him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that. You know what I mean? I love
when they make you love a character that is so despicable.
Exactly.
Like in you find out like, dude is straight up a psycho, stalker, like putting people in cages. But at the same time, you're like, oh, I just wish they could make it work. And like, the fact that you can make me feel that way about this psycho stalker is brilliant. I mean, I just love that writing.
That's what I love. To me, that's great storytelling. That's great storytelling because it's like I'm trying to think of another example for me of a show where that I feel like executes that well. Like Walking Dead, Negan. Negan is one of the best characters I've ever seen on TV. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is freaking phenomenal, but also the writing that goes along with it. I don't know how far people are on it. I know a lot of people jumped off the train when I won't spoil it for people, but there was a very huge thing that happened in season 9, I think. And I know some people jumped off, and some people jumped off before there. But these recent seasons, I didn't think would be that good. But Negan is such a freaking good character, because even when he was doing these horrific, mind-numbingly terrible things, he's still insanely charismatic. Like, you can't hate him. You know,
and he's doing it to take care of his people, and
Yes.
make his tribe thrive.
Yes.
And there's no wonder that they love him the way they do, because they are very successful.
Yeah.
Even though they're doing horrible things to get there, like, you can see how they get there. Like, he is a complex character that they make you like, and that's, I love that. Like, making somebody cry in 22 minutes on a hospital show about the little kid that's dying, that takes skill. I love that you can pull on my emotional heartstrings and make me cry about somebody that didn't exist 20 minutes ago. That's great. But crying for a little kid that's dying of cancer, that's not that hard to do. But making you love, like psychos and stuff, and, fall in love with people like Walter White or Negan, like, that stuff is fascinating to me. That is the juicy stuff. That's what I want to do.
Yeah. I mean, I had Walter White when we did our top 5 list for top 5 villains. I think I had Walter White at number 2. He was at number 2 and number 3 because and of course we had a debate whether he was a villain or not, which to me is laughable, but but I won't spoil it for people that have not. If you've been under a rock and haven't watched Breaking Bad yet,
y'all need to get out and do
it's gotta be a choice at this point, right? Like,
Yeah,
good choice not to watch it if you haven't seen it yet.
Like, I
You're
mean,
right.
I'm behind a couple of seasons on Walking Dead, but that's because I got rid of satellite. So, like, and now that I'm working full time doing comics, like, there's a lot of days I put in like 12, 16-hour days sometimes.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't have a lot of time to put something on that you have to watch and pay attention to.
It's on it. You can catch up on Netflix. I think they're up to season 10 on Netflix. That's how I caught up. And I will tell you.
But that's not like a put on in the background and listen to show like NCIS. Like,
True.
NCIS is designed for old folks that are going to fall asleep. So like, halfway through the show, Gibbs hits that button in the elevator and they recap the whole show, and they tell you about the red herring they went after, and they tell you who's in the box and what we're going to interrogate them for. So I can catch up listening and I don't have to watch.
Yeah.
But like, they don't do that on Walking Dead. Like, if you're not watching, you miss big chunks of the show.
Oh yeah,
it's possible. It's entirely possible.
Well, we are out of time now. So I was like, I could just sit here.
You've already talked the whole time. I don't believe it. Run the tape back. I don't believe it.
Before we wrap it up, Fish, J-Man did have a question for you, and he said, "What is or would be Virgil's favorite kind of music?"
Oh, see,
question.
I've really been thinking about this. I have really been thinking about this a lot. And honestly, he doesn't really have one because he doesn't get much of an opportunity to listen to music. And you're going to see on some pages I'm working on right now for the second issue, you're going to see just how drastically different his life is from some of the other people's. But like, he doesn't have the opportunity to like listen to music for fun. So like, he doesn't really have a favorite genre like he does with books, which his favorite genre of books is anything he can find. And anything he can find and read that has most of the book in one piece is his new favorite book. But music, whatever he's hearing on the radio is cool enough, but he just hasn't been exposed to enough to have a favorite, like
fair enough.
He has favorite stories.
Wow. Yeah. I'm so excited for Green Zone. I'm just so excited.
I got to work today on some new pages for the next issue, and I'm so excited. I was sharing it with Sarah before the show. I'm so excited about the stuff I'm getting.
Awesome. It looks so good. So okay. We should go. We could talk here. I could listen to you guys going on about the various villains all night, but like, I feel like We gotta wrap it up eventually. So yeah. Okay. Next week we are going to be talking about music and comics and on Kickstarter and stuff like that. So I believe, let me double check here. We're gonna have okay, I'm probably gonna mangle his name. It's Fabrice Sapolsky.
Mhm.
I think, yeah, we're gonna be talking, and Eric. If Eric isn't gonna be there, then I might have to like drive to his place and
I'd be
slap him.
shocked if
Why
it-
the hell wouldn't he be on there? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think that would be breaking the terms of service to be talking music without him there. You need to check because that's probably going to
Literally.
get
He's not gonna, like, if he doesn't show up is because he is dead because I killed him because he said no. That's
Yeah,
and then I won't be here
way.
either because he'll be dead and I'll be in jail.
Mhm.
there's no
So
way.
he has to be coming, like, because when we know that it's one of us, like when Lori and I and like we like Eric is like, he's always there, but like he rarely is actively participating in the conversation when we're talking about stuff. So he is like it's like he's there, but he's not there. So
Yeah, he's got to be there for that.
it's funny, yeah. And so like I'm like we didn't nobody wrote him down on the schedule, but if he's not there, then there's a problem. Like that can't be. So
I agree.
he's got to be out. He's got to be planning on it.
I'll protest too.
Yeah. Don't make me drive out there just to run out.
we're gonna have a big old. We're just gonna let's all just like rent a mobile motor home or whatever, you know, what are those things called, and we'll just all caravan
RV.
out there and then goes and just slap him up one side and down the
Yeah.
other.
Absolutely.
And we can
I
let
feel like
Moose.
that's
We can let Moose. We can let Moose. Moose pull the RV.
There you go.
Yeah.
You gonna have the moose pull it on the way back, but we're gonna have to get there to get a moose, aren't we? I don't think there's any moose around here.
Yeah,
we
you're
got-
right.
I mean,
I'm
this
still
is
terrified.
but this is Wisconsin. I'm sure we can bring some. We can
There
find
might be some.
there's some
Yeah.
cow.
I don't want to find out.
My dad used to have a buffalo. There might be a buffalo around. I don't
That's
know if you can get them to. That's a story.
extreme.
That's a story for if we ever do a story time episode. That's a story.
I am in.
So okay. Thank you, Morgan, for coming and telling us about Ace Blade. I did put the link to the Ace Blade Kickstarter in the comments here.
Thank you.
But if you go to Kickstarter.com and type in Ace Blade or type in Danny J Quick, like either one is going to get you. Ace Blade is the very first option, and I think for when I typed in Ace Blade, only Ace Blade stuff came up. So
Yeah.
you can't go wrong. It's really easy to find. But if you just want to click a link, then go to our comments, and there it is. So so thank you, Morgan, for that. Thank you, Fish, for coming and guest hosting since Lori couldn't come.
Always
And-
happy to help.
And yeah, I hope everybody will join us next week for the music episode, and have a good night. So bye.
Bye, y'all.